Good morning, traders. Today is Thursday, January 12th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. Well, the market had its fun with the CPI news that came out pretty much right on target. They took the market up, they took the market down, they took the market back up again. They spent all night waiting, and then they got a massive move in both directions. Congratulations to the Bulls. Congratulations to the Bear. I hope you were on the right side at the right time. It was a matter of timing. But now the market's getting ready to open, and we are back to regular business. What is the regular business of the market? Well, a continuation of the momentum. So we broke out of balance, and balance, it appears, is leading to excess. We now have a trend on the daily. So 2 days ago, the market had a spike up at the end of the day, showing that we were beginning to have momentum in the market based on the retest of that balance area high. And then we got a gap up yesterday, which was a sign of continuation of that momentum. The market pushed higher, creating a higher high and a higher low on the daily, another sign of continuation of the momentum. And then we spiked up at the end of the day, another sign of a continuation of the momentum. And you'll never guess what we're doing this morning. We're opening with another gap up, same as yesterday, a sign of a continuation of the momentum. I will just note we're at a very important level on the daily here. Give me just 1 second. We're bouncing right on that downward trend that the market's been held down on the daily since the all-time highs. Okay. And we're grinding up against that level now here today. So the last time we got here, we were able to break through. We broke through up here. It looked really, really bullish. And then just kind of pulled back at the very end of the day. And then the next day, we failed and came lower. Okay. So we don't want to get overly excited if we break through again today. But to me, that is the first thing. That is the ruling reason behind the market this morning. They are trying to see, can they break through this trend line now in the regular trading hours? Can they keep this momentum going? They had it with the spike up yesterday. They have it with the gap up today. So the ultimate question, will they get a gap and go? So the market's most likely, highest probability is that it will attempt to fill the gap. Filling the gap will be trying to get down to yesterday's high at 39.91. All right, looks like they're heading there now. Can they do it? Can they get to yesterday's high? If they can get to yesterday's high, it's a gap inside a gap, actually. That's funny. If they can get to yesterday's high, oh no, we're going to lose window trader. Then we'll be looking for support at 91. Okay, if they can find support at 91, that is a gap and go. That is the most bullish scenario. And we would be looking for continuation of that momentum higher. If they fail at 91, if they fail at yesterday's high, we then look to test the base of the spike. All right, here they go. They're going for that gap fill, looking to test yesterday's high. Do they find the buyers here around 90? Gap filled. All right, so no support at yesterday's high. That is a sign that this is not a gap and go, so it is not that bullish signal we were looking for. So the next question is, can they hold the base of the spike at 39.81 and get some buyers there? We got a weak low here. All bids, no asks were filled. And it was an iceberg. Iceberg. Ah, he was looking at the base of the M period. Loves those weak references. Charles, what do you mean by weak? Why are you saying that? Well, the people that are buying right now, they just saw that bounce. Where are they putting their stops? Right? They're putting their stops right below there. So the more time the market spends grinding here, the more and more buyers think it's support, good support when it's weak. And they're buying and buying, fixing to get squeezed. Because all the market has to do is barely poke down and it can eat up all that liquidity. And then they look for the next weak reference. And they do it again. Okay, there's the repair. Booped, grabbed 384. Stops right there. Thank you very much. May I have another? Okay, so once again, we're now looking for support at 39.81. That is the base of the spike up. If that support fails, I will become bearish. The reason I will become bearish is because that will make today's market a look above and fail of yesterday's range, where we tried to go higher and pulled back in. That would be a signal we do not have the momentum anymore. So that would mean the spike no longer matters from yesterday. The gap up no longer matters from today. That is no longer what the market is doing. Well, if the market isn't going up anymore, if the momentum is gone, what is it probably doing? Coming back to start repairing all the weakness. So if the spike breaks, I become bearish and begin to monitor for continuation to the downside. Here's that test. No support. I am now bearish as a look above and fail. I will remain bearish as long as we are inside yesterday's range. Looking to begin repairing the weakness we left behind, monitoring for continuation to the downside. GeoCap says balance day before heading lower. I would still think about it like a trend day, right? So on the daily, we still have higher highs and higher lows, and we still have value higher. So at the moment, bigger picture, the market is still bullish. It is still trending higher. It just needs to pull back. It needs to cool off a little bit. They got themselves overly long. They got a little too long, a little too fast. Obviously, waiting for some sort of reaction from CPI that they apparently didn't get. Whatever they wanted to hear, they didn't hear it. And so now they're realizing their inventory is overly long, and we got to pull back a little bit and let them unload. But once that market pulls back enough, all of a sudden it becomes a fair price to do business. Suddenly new people are willing to participate, and then we turn around and we start heading back up again. So I look at this as a look above and fail of yesterday's range, which means intraday today, for the moment, we're bearish because we're pulling back. But on the daily, we're still trending higher. So we are looking for support, and we're just seeing how far back do we have to pull to get it. Maybe all we have to do is repair this first week reference. We find the support, and then the bulls step right in. Maybe we have to repair this next one. Then they'll step in. All right, well, maybe it won't be that one. Maybe it's this one down here. Maybe once we repair that, then the bulls step in. We don't know. We'll just monitor for continuation, see how far down they push it. All right, first week reference repaired. So does this bring in support? Do the buyers step in and defend here? This is the monitoring for continuation moment. Do they find support and head back up to test resistance, or do they continue lower? Continuing lower would tell us they're heading to the next week reference. No support. That is bearish. Buyers' last chance to defend right here at 39.69. Can they get a bounce? Or are we going to get more liquidation? Stay tuned for literally any second now. Dude, no support at 69. That is bearish to see. Next major support is around 61. So we are now looking to repair these 3-week references at 67, 64, and 62. And then do we get support at 61? Monitoring for continuation. They left behind another week reference. So once again, once they repair 62.50, we're looking for support around 61. If that breaks, we're looking to repair 58. If that breaks and we don't get support there, we're looking to test yesterday's low at 49. The low remains weak. J Trader, did someone say liquidation? Looks like they might be saying liquidation with new money selling here in a second. All right, so this is the moment of truth here. The market is getting support, but it is weak. It is weak support. It's built on a house of lies. They just put it there to get short-term traders long and create liquidity below. So now the question becomes, can those short-term traders get a bounce? Or does the market continue back through, repairing this weak reference? If it does, that is a sign of new selling. Okay? Because there are short-term traders willing to buy this up as support, if there's another push lower now, it's new sellers coming in. And that is bearish to see. Boom, there's your new sellers. Bearish. Just wanted to get some stops to fill. Okay, can 61 hold? Nope. No support. Heading down to repair the next week reference at 39.58. Is that enough to bring in the buyers? If not, we're heading down to test yesterday's low. Can you imagine if you were the swing trader who just had your shorts waiting? You just moved your stop below your entry and you feel like a king right now? Mark says gap fill from yesterday. That's a great point, actually. I don't even have that marked on my chart. There it is. Yeah. Yeah. If we get below yesterday's range, then yep, the gap fill becomes the next thing. But let's give, again, I just want to really reiterate the idea that as long as we're making a higher low, as long as we're still inside yesterday's range, it's still actually technically trending higher on the daily. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it is. Higher high, higher low, value overlapping to higher. So the buyers could definitely still step in here and reverse this thing out of nowhere. But if they don't do that now, once they repair, this last week reference, well then, yep, they're going to get below yesterday's low. Once they get below yesterday's low, it's no longer a trend day on the daily. Now we're starting to make lower lows. Suddenly it's completely engulfing the previous day and everything changes. And then also, oh yeah, by the way, gap that needs to get filled and weakness in need of repair. So whether they find support right now at the lower end of yesterday's range is going to be pretty important moving forward today. Very simply put, they pushed the market up over the last 2 days too far, too fast. Right? There was no one left to do business up here. So what we're doing now is pulling back, looking for business. What I'm saying is if we break below yesterday's low, we know we're not going to find the business up here. If we're not going to find the business up here, we're probably going to have to pull back, looking for it at lower prices. But if the breakout of balance was right and the market is moving in the right direction, there should be buyers waiting somewhere here around the overnight low. So let's see how this plays out. Okay, week low once again. The low remains weak. Still just icebergs. Trying to convince you to go long right now. Oh, look, it's bouncing. I should go long. Where am I going to put my stop? Who knows? That being said, there's a lot of icebergs doing business down here, boys and girls. A lot of the buying is by the computers. Are they taking profits on shorts from above? Or are they starting to accumulate right around that overnight low. All right, so now we're looking for 69 to turn into resistance. Again, this is a bounce off of weakness. They brought these buyers in, so they could wipe them right back out. So we're looking for resistance here at 69 and to head back down for that weak low. All right, so now we're looking to see, can they smack these ticks back down to the zero line? Can the sellers take control once again here in the resistance? Huh, all right. Well, the buyers are coming. So we're looking for resistance now at the halfback, 39.80. I remain bearish as long as we are below the halfback. If we pass back through the halfback, I instantly become neutral, as that is a sign that this was nothing more than a liquidation break. And a liquidation break can actually strengthen a market. Even though it was on weakness, the liquidation would be more powerful. So I'd be back to neutral right away if we get through the halfback. But until then, I'll assume this is just too many short-term traders getting too excited, and we'll get some resistance, and they'll get smacked right back down. So at the moment, I remain bearish. Short-term intraday. All right, looking for the sellers here. Smack those ticks down. Thomas has that value too. Yeah, it was just now at the low of the day, increasing the odds would go lower, and then it popped up saying that that's a good low. The market is giving us new signals. Okay, so those ticks getting smacked is the first sign that the resistance is holding. Now, can they get them back to the zero line? Can they take back control of the reins? The ticks will tell. Well, I'll be damned. All right, I'm back to neutral. The buyers are stepping in. We are not getting new selling. So now we treat it a bit like a chop zone, and we're trying to figure out support or resistance, who's going to take control here. The sellers had it for a second, but they're losing it, and the buyers are taking control. So the question is, can the buyers get back above yesterday's range? Or will this node right here act as resistance, 39.85? And then if the sellers can get another push down, does this now become support and they can't take it any lower? And we're going to have to kind of just let it chop between to see who's going to win the tug of war here. But I will say, if the buyers are able to get back above yesterday's high once again, that would be bullish. As a liquidation break squeezes out all the weak hands and gives stronger hands a chance to get in. So right now, tug of war. But if the buyers can take back control, they can make a move. Then we start to look back at that daily once again. We start looking at that bigger trend line and asking ourselves, can we poke through that? You know, things just got interesting. It's a two-way market. All right, let the games begin. So we're looking for chop between this node right here around 86 and this node down here around 70. Whichever side breaks is likely to take control of the market. Let the chop begin. So the goal for the bulls, if they want to own this market once again, they want to get above yesterday's high. Okay, so they want to get above 91. And if the bears want to take control of the market again, they want to get below this node down here. So they want to get below like 62. So that's what they're going to do now. They're going to fight with one another and see who can break the other. Chop, chop it up. And the first round goes to the bears. Now let's see what the bulls can do. Can they defend the support? Well, that's right, Bob. The buyers stepped in. They're going to give it another go. And looks like no one's taken charge yet here in the markets. What are you expecting from here? Well, I don't know, Jimmy. I'd say probably we're going to get some more resistance there at the halfback, and they're going to take another poke at the support. Those buyers are probably starting to get a little panicked here. Well, that's right, Jim, and we know there's always some sellers waiting here around the halfback, so we're going to wait and see how they play themselves out. Are they going to try to defend here, or are they going to let it pop back up to 85? Looks like they're not going to defend that halfback, so the game's going to continue. And that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it holds for him. Do, 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 do. All right, buyers taking a poke. Remember, they're trying to get above yesterday's high. Once they do, they are going to start squeezing sellers from the lows. And we're going to get some short covering. Can they do it? Oh, they're right there. It's a weak high. Can they get the squeeze? Oh my goodness. And they're through. That is bullish to see. Now all these shorts from the lower end of the range are fixing to start getting squeezed. So now the question is, can we turn the overnight high into support for continuation higher? As we squeeze all those shorts about their draws. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. It's bullish, folks. It's bullish as can be. Squeezing them. Dude, they got the advancers versus decliners from almost negative 300, from negative 279 back above the zero line. That's a straight up V-shape reversal on the advancers versus decliners. Not common. All right, so they squeezed all those sellers from down below. Now can they bring in the new buyers? Can the high from yesterday hold as support at 39.91 or anywhere above it? New buyers above yesterday's high. There they are. So now it's time to zoom out and look at the daily and start asking ourselves, can we get through this resistance? Can we break on through to the other side? If we do, you think that'll make anybody start buying? I wonder what people are going to think when they see us poking through that downward resistance. Let's see what happens. Sandra says, I would not be so happy as a swing trader from that short, from the daily downtrend. Well, you'd be disappointed, but you wouldn't be unhappy because you had an opportunity to move your stop, right? Remember when I made that comment earlier, I said, wouldn't it feel great if you could move your stop right now, right? If you could take all the risk off the table and just be in it to win it and see what happens. So yeah, of course you'd be disappointed right now because they would have stopped you out on the way back up. Probably your stop would have been right at yesterday's high, and so they just got you. But you didn't lose any money. You just had to wait for the next chance. And maybe you're excited right now because now you're flat again. You have equal opportunity to go long or short, and you might think the market's going to go higher. So you're happy to be flat and ready to look for a long trade. Here they come again for a new high. Can they poke the price back up into the sky? All right, so they just created a poor high, increasing the odds that the market is going to push away from the high, looking for support to come back and repair it. Repairing the poor high would be creating the initial bounce to the upside, which would be a little bit bullish to see, as well as obviously finding support above yesterday's high is bullish to see. $189 people watching, only 70 likes. Give the Pirates some love, folks. Come on. Little little push for the Pirate. J Trader, I'm long likes. You're going to be stuck in a trading range for years. Trust me. They're going to be oversold over 100. So you better keep an eye on that RSI. Exactly, be a scalper. All right, so resistance is holding, but remember, this is just the push away from a poor high. They're looking for support. All right, moment of truth. Watching those ticks. Do they pop back up above the zero line? Do they get smacked up from here? Scooball says it can chop inside a range for an hour. I know this stupid market. Yeah, they love to chop right at an important level, right before they break somewhere. Hmm. All right, testing the support again. Can we bring in the buyers here at yesterday's high? We're watching this node right here from the overnight. Lots of time, lots of volume. Will that hold? Once again, looking for those ticks to get smacked back above the zero line. All right, so the support is holding again, but now we have to start asking ourselves a question here, okay? They've got a poor high. So let's think about the buyers and what's been going on with them. They got squeezed like a MFer this morning with that massive liquidation break lower. But somehow they found a bunch of strong hands that stepped in and bought that liquidation break up, brought it back up. As soon as they began the chop, as soon as they began to fight the battle, the buyers instantly won, poking above yesterday's high. And now it's the second we got above yesterday's high, they've completely run out of steam. Okay? So the question is, they've got the support. It's now worked like 4 times in a row here at the overnight high, or sorry, at yesterday's high, and they've got the magnet pulling on price. So what if they can't do it? What if they can't get back up here and repair this poor high? Well, then that's information, because everything is in the buyer's favor to do this. So if they can't, it means we're going to get more chop. It means they're not ready to take the market higher. They don't have the buyers. And with the ticks holding below the zero, I'm back to neutral. Sorry, folks. Sorry, folks. No clue what she's going to do, or anyway, what time she's going to do it at. Screwball is right once again with his chop call. So essentially, like we talked about before, when we were seeing this area here as a potential chop zone for the market to go up and down, if they were able to get above yesterday's high, it was a sign they had the buyers for continuation. Well, now they don't. They tried. And a little old poor high smacked them away. Right? So that tells us that they're not actually ready to go higher. If they tried to take the market lower and they couldn't do it, and then they tried to take the market higher and they couldn't do it, what are they more likely to do? More chop, more sideways. It's beginning to look a lot like balance. For another day, we'll just chop ourselves around. The price going up and down and probably spike at the end of the day. That is actually my prediction at this moment. My prediction is sideways. I don't know for how long. I don't know what size range, but I think at some point today we break higher and we continue the momentum to the upside, but they're just not ready yet. So we'll have to wait and see. With that, I will bid you farewell, wish you all the best. And if you're a member of the brigade, well, you should head on over to the private stream. We'll figure it out together. Thanks a lot, everyone. Bye-bye.